area would have been ran to the back.
Okay.
Okay, you sent me one?
Hey everyone, we're here with Meg Watson in Charleston, South Carolina. Welcome, Meg. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Today. Let's start over.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, we're here with Meg Watson out of Charleston, South Carolina, and she is a really good friend of mine. We've known each other for quite a long time. I think we say we have a 10-year anniversary, don't we?
That's right. We need to plan our trip.
That's right.
We're going to go on a 10-year anniversary trip.
So it's been great knowing Meg. She's a super professional in our industry, and a lot of people look up to her. She's been in the business for 24 years, and I know I can't believe that could be possible.
I know. I started when I was 4.
That's right. And she has 2 teenagers currently at home, and she has a kind of adult daughter who she's been raising by herself, and been quite incredible. About a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, she was with a team in Charleston, a really prominent team, and decided to make a change. We've been talking a while about EXP, and she decided to make a change based off of a lot of due diligence and talking back and forth about the company and the opportunity that presented itself. Meg left the team, went out on her own, and since she's done that, she's done incredible. Her business is up 24% over last year, which is huge. Especially going out completely on her own and starting basically her from fresh as an independent agent, of course, with all those years of experience behind her. And with that, she's grown the Charleston market for EXP. I think you have 13 personals. Is that right, Meg?
Actually, I have 3 that I have verbal commitments on now, so I'll be at 16 within a couple weeks. I think we'll make the announcement.
Awesome. So you'll have 16, and I think we're at 61 or 64 in her organization.
63 as of today in my organization, right.
Awesome. So she's been growing that over the past 12 months. She's been with the company. It's basically your 1-year anniversary, and we just want to learn more about you and what you're doing and how it's changed your life being a part of EXP. Also, people who don't know, she's also was a broker in charge for a large office for a number of years in Charleston, wore a lot of hats, and she's just one of those people who has a great energy, and people are attracted to her naturally, and because of that, she builds a great business and has had a huge success in her real estate career over the past 24 years. So welcome, Meg. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here.
Of course. Tell us a little bit about what it was like. What was the process in helping you decide to become a part of this company and make such a big decision after being in the other roles you've been in before?
You know, I made a move to Keller Williams 8 years ago now, and got to work with you up in Charlotte and loved the company. Ironically, I had been a director of recruiting here in Charleston for a couple of years for the largest independent company here years ago, back when KW first hit our market. So I had recruited against them for a long time, and then became one of them, and really was a big believer in the model. You know, I had no complaints. You know, some people get disgruntled about space or this or that, but I really didn't. I enjoyed it, and I knew it was the best thing out there. Until I got this phone call from a girl named Shelley Johnson about a year and a half ago, like you said. And I remember the call. You said, "You're not going to believe what we have found." And I said, "Okay, a puppy, you know."
That would be like me.
I know you well. You said, "No, Craig and I just got back from meeting with the founders of an up-and-coming real estate company, and you're just not going to believe it. It has your name written all over it. You'll love the model." And I said, "Shelley, I am so slammed right now, but you know, you kind of were asking for my opinion." And I said, "Let me look at the model really quick, and then let you be the guinea pig and try it out later." So I called you back, and I remember saying, "Wow, this is the best real estate model I've ever encountered in 24 years. Very exciting and extremely agent-centric and innovative," which I loved. So I said, "Hey, I'm too busy. It's my summer season. I know you are too, but I'm going to let you guys go ahead up there in Charlotte and be the guinea pig." So I got a call from you a couple weeks later, and then a couple weeks later saying just updates, wow, you really need to look into this when you get time. We're very pleased. So it was the end of August, mid-August maybe, when everything finally slowed down enough with our season here, that I really sat down and started digging into this company. And I remember saying to you, I had never planned on making another move.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a company jumper. That had never been my thing. And I just said, I really am impressed, so I'll look more into it. So I know you guys set me up on several calls with leadership, which was super helpful. Getting to speak with Brent Gove out of Sacramento, and knowing now what you and Craig already had in your experiences in Charlotte. My main thing was it's always real estate first.
Right.
So in looking at the model and the split plans and just the amazing tools that this company provides and training, that was the first arena that I was really impressed in, to get an 80-20 split for everyone across the board. Number one, I worked with an independent company for a long time where we did have special deals going on. And I just was never a big fan of that, with somebody going, well, I found out that so-and-so is getting this or that. So I love it that everyone is the same, regardless of whether you're a new agent or you have 30 years in the business. And the reason we can do that is because it is so fair as far as everything else. So 80-20 split up to a $16,000 cap for individuals. $8,000 for team members was really impressive to me. And then 100% after that for the rest of your anniversary year. So then I went, okay, well, the split's great, but what are they going to do for us? What are the tools? They have to be cutting out, a lot of things that we value and we need for our business. And then I dug into that and found out all of that is there plus more. So it's kind of like the companies I've been with prior, but on steroids is how I explain it to people, as far as the technology tools that we get and that are, accessible at our fingertips all day long. A lot of things have changed in how I do my business that have made me much more effective since I joined. So I dove in, I learned about all of that, and then I discovered the stock shares and that it's publicly traded and the revenue sharing program, and it just blew my mind. So I know you kept saying, Meg, when are you going to make the jump and when are you going to stop doing your research? But for those of you out there that might be listening to this that are thinking about making some kind of a change, it is so scary. And I totally get that.
I remember you saying that. It's like jumping off the bed.
I called you crying one night when I had made the decision, and you, as such a dear friend of mine, you were one of the few people in my life that I could call and say, Shelley, I feel like I'm jumping off of a cliff and I don't know if my parachute's going to open. You're doing great in Charlotte. Yes, EXP is working in Charlotte. Yes, it's worked all over the country, but what if it doesn't work here? I have kids that I'm supporting and a lifestyle that I'm used to. So it was very, very scary for me, particularly because re-entering the Charleston market after a move to Charlotte about 5 years, my name had not been out in sales in this market in about 12 years because I'm director of recruiting and broker in charge here. And, I hadn't been in sales in 10 or 12 years, I know, at least here. So to bring my name back into it and with a brand new company, it felt like I was starting a new company, which I kind of have been, and hanging a shingle out and going, please, somebody know that I'm here. So, but you know what? That fear vanished so quickly because of the support that I got, not only from you, but from everyone in the organization that, quickly integrated me in fast. And that's one of the beautiful things I think that is nice about us is how agile we are as a company. One of the things that I said when I went to Keller Williams, and I remember telling you this, is I will never again work for a traditional real estate company. Mm-hmm. I will only be progressive from here on out. And the fact that we've taken a model that was already a good model and put it on steroids and made it so much more we created so much more depth, I guess I look at it as. So after doing all that research, I finally joined October 1st of last year. So I just passed my 13-month mark. And I was actually wrong. Like I told you, I'm up 24%. I'm actually up 27%. I finally did my. So within that first 12 months with the company, I was up 27% in my personal business. So that's been huge for me. I really enjoyed it.
You've certainly taken this by the horns and ran your business, and just like I would, knowing you for all these years, knowing that you would definitely be the person to own what you're doing and 100% and take it to the highest level possible. I'm really proud of you, and I know that you've really took a leap of faith in Craig and I, what we were sharing with you, and we were proud of everything you've been able to accomplish and more.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be able, a year ago I wonder what a year from now is going to look like. So it's kind of good timing because I can really share my experiences from all aspects of the company, production, stocks, revenue share, all of it with you.
So tell us a little bit, you did something a little bit different, which I thought was really cool. You started the Carolina group. You saw that right away when you joined over. You started saying, you know what, I'm going to take a brand and I'm going to create this remote organization. It's not your traditional team model, but it's a support network within the Carolina region that you've created a nice brand for. And you've really attracted really top agents that are like-minded like you. I've gotten to meet them. It's been a lot of fun collaborating. And could you share a little bit about that and what made you decide to do that and how that's worked out for you all?
Well, ironically, right after I joined, it was the week before our annual conference, our convention. So I headed straight down to Florida. Where were we?
Fort Lauderdale, I know.
Fort Lauderdale. I've been on so many trips in the last year. That's the other neat thing this company's done. But so I headed straight down to Fort Lauderdale, and I remember we roomed together, and I was a deer in headlights. I was just like, what in the world? This is awesome. This is amazing. And so at that conference, I decided to do some interviews with 8 top agents across the country who had joined EXP long before I did and you did, and really did see why they made the decision and what it had done for them. So one of those people was Elizabeth Riley, Austin, Texas. And I admire her. She's so professional and just a great person. And I saw that she had a group called the Lux Group. When I interviewed her, I said, so is this your real estate team? And she said, no. She said, I have a couple of admins, but I've always been an independent agent. And she's so successful, icon agent with us. But she said, when I came on board with EXP, there were about 6 or 8 of us independent agents that had worked together for years that all wanted to come over. And we decided, why don't we just start a brand so that there are more signs in the yards bringing to our personal website. And I thought, wow, that's brilliant. So when I came back and decided to form Charleston Homes Group, I, just kind of went off of her model. So we're all independent agents. We put like $50 to $100 per closing in a branding fund. That's completely away from EXP. That's just something we wanted to do. And each quarter, we will be using it to spend on various advertising or beefing up a website or whatever we decide to do. So it's nice. We all have the same logo. But you're not out there promoting a team that's not your independent name.
Right.
And for me, after being out of the industry in sales here for so long, it was important for me to get my name back out there. So it's been fun. We're still tweaking and finding things. Our website, as always, has taken a while. We did that outside of EXP. The EXP websites are easy, but this one we've kind of made a little more custom. So
sure. So the cool thing is with the team, like, so you can do an organization like that, you can be an individual, or you can absolutely have a team, a traditional team. So that the model is very, like you said earlier, agile and able to go back and forth between whatever works best for you and your business. And
for example, I think one of the most exciting times in the entire past year, besides just being able to be very successful in my business was I was in Starbucks, and I had done a video announcement that I was spearheading. EXP is what I call it in the Charleston area. We are not a franchise, so we have no territories, but I called myself Mama Bear for a while in this area. So I ran into this man who I'm friends with through marching band with my daughter. And he said, "You never say something like, 'This is the smartest real estate model I've ever seen. I got to hear about this.'" So we got our coffees and sat down and started chatting, and I was telling him about it, and he's with a team. And he said, "Well, that wouldn't be my decision. It would be the leader of my team's decision, but I'll definitely get you in front of him." And he said, "But let me tell you who you do need to talk to is my former college roommate from Southern Indiana." And I went, "Okay." He said he's an independent company owner. He's had his own company for 16 years. He's like the top name in his town. But he was getting frustrated because it was a little harder to recruit against the big franchises, the big national names, and provide the amount of training and everything that they needed. So he said he's been looking at franchising with RE/MAX, but I don't think he's real happy with the agreement that they're trying to reach. I said, "Will you do a text message and I'll just introduce myself?" So long story short, I think that was in November of last year, about a year ago. And 7 months ago, their company rolled in with EXP. And here's the neat thing. As an independent brokerage, they can still keep their identity.
Right.
So they are still House Hunter Realty in Southern Indiana, brokered by EXP Realty. So you work so hard, and I know this because I have started branches for companies before, and it's your baby, you've worked so hard to create it, and you're so bound to it, and you don't want to give that up and just have to go be RE/MAX or, Carolina One or whoever. So it was really neat that independent companies are able to just come right on in, offer all the tools they want to their agents that agents could normally get at a national franchise. And they're not franchised. They don't have any upfront fees. So it was a phenomenal learning experience for me. And it's really neat to see them integrated now and growing out there in Indiana.
So you're in 3 states with your agent.
I'm in 3 states, Kentucky, Indiana, and South Carolina. So, I think, Shelley, that's something that people have a hard time wrapping their head around with this company. And if I can interject real quick, there are a few things that this company has done for me in 13 months. Number one, even after being a child that was raised by parents who were real estate agents my entire life, and then jumping right into real estate at age 24, and then wearing every hat in the industry and leadership, sales, being rookie of the year, all that good stuff. Now, if you ask anybody that knows me, I think they would say the one thing that would have upset Meg Watson is if somebody looked at me and ever said I was small-minded, right? Would you agree?
I would totally agree with that.
I'm very open-minded. I like to be creative and innovative and on the cutting edge. And what it's taught me is I was extremely small-minded, and just because everyone in this industry has always been small-minded in a bad way, but it's all we had available to us. Mm-hmm. Now, when I went to the conference, Brent Gove and I sat down and talked, and he said, "Meg, this company will change your entire mindset. Mm-hmm. It will set up a world that has never existed, nor could you imagine existing, because of our collaboration, soon to be worldwide, through touch of a button on technology, through not being franchised and being able to expand way past where, if I wanted to open up a market in Brazil tomorrow and our team had the technology figured out on the money and the, integrating technology there, I could do it. I have no buy-in, no franchise fees, no royalty fees. I can just expand and grow beyond where I ever thought I could. So that part of this company is a little weird, I think, to people at first, but
once you get it, you get it.
Now I've got this great referral network out of Southern Indiana too, and Kentucky that I never had before. So It is a big fish in the real estate sea.
It's funny because when we were talking about what you said about being small-minded, Craig and I always thought we were so innovative and so cutting edge, and we really prided ourselves on that. And then we really realized when we left our company we were before how tied down, how small our world really was. And now we have relationships all over the country and in Canada. It's been incredible.
Yeah. So tell me your sales volume. I just want people that, if I send this to someone, I want them to know some about you guys too, your team.
So Craig and I partnered in 2012, and we've been growing our team ever since. Our sales volume, we'll hit 85 million this year. We left Keller Williams 16 months ago. We were at 45 million. And some people say, well, was that because of EXP? Well, it's not exactly because of EXP, but what it has done is the energy level and the opportunity to use the revenue share, which you've not even really touched on, to be able to hire people to leverage what we're doing at a high level. That's been huge. And then this is just the collaboration between top agents and being able to learn what they're doing and apply it to our business. That's been huge for us. So
the collaboration has been so impressive to me, just coming outside of our box, like you and I talked about. I didn't elaborate on that, but we're all so used to seeing the same people, meetings, and the same training. And wow, we came out with a new training class, but guess who's going to be in there? The same people in the same four walls in the same meetings. So, and that's great for relationships.
Sure.
Do we make money off of our relationships with people in our office? No, right? I mean, they're not going to send us referrals because we all work in the market.
Right.
So how EXP has really expanded my brain and my thought processes are, the training sessions that we go to in our cloud office. I'm sitting next to 400 people from across the country, that are from, I've got Joe next to me from Utah and Susie next to me from Texas and Brent Go from Sacramento and Shelley Johnson from Charlotte. And then we have these mastermind groups. And here I am, just like we are, talking live, able to hear everybody, interject, ask questions in all of our training. And these mastermind groups blow my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what's working in California. Well, guess what? If it's working in California, it's going to be working here in about 6 months to a year. Just like EXP, we exploded in California and it's finally worked its way across. So I always watch the trends out there, and I always have, but the collaboration, like you said, just being able to, if I was a team leader, bring some of those ideas back and say, hey, the Brent Go team that does 160 million a year or whatever it is, does this with their team. We're going to do this. And they're not in competition with us. So it is a beautiful thing, but I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, not at all. I wanted you to share a little bit about how this ancillary income that's become our rev share, and how's that changed your personal life, and how has it changed your business life? What has it made you be able to do more of, and how's it made your life better?
I think there are, I'm going to back up just a second for those that maybe haven't seen a webinar about EXP, haven't met with one of us yet, but the main huge difference, and when I say we took the KW model, or maybe even Remax or Exit, there used to be Exit, we took some of the successful models that are currently out there and put them on steroids. When Glenn Sanford created this company in 2008, the crash had hit, and he said, this industry is so broken, and I got to find a way. Because we have agents all over the country, all over the world, losing houses, foreclosing, unable to make their mortgage payments, unable to pay for their kids' college. And let me tell you, I just got chills when I said that, because at that time, I was a broker in charge of a 120 agent office here in Charleston, or 110, I believe it was. And I would go home and cry at night because I felt like I was a therapist, right? All these people that I so deeply cared about were coming in, and I felt like I needed to take my nameplate and switch it from broker in charge and flip it around to therapist, because they would come in and cry. And they would come in and go, I've worked hard in this industry for 10 years. I don't know anything else.
Right.
I can't make my mortgage payment, Meg. You know, what am I going to do? And there was only so much each of us could do, you know, at that time, leaders to help them. So I can totally relate to what Glenn was thinking and feeling at that time. So he created a model where we have 2 extra opportunities for revenue in our lives. All right. We're all going to go out there and do what we're going to do. You're going to do what you're going to do. You've doubled your business. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You know, I almost increased mine by 1/3 in the first year. Mm-hmm. We're going to keep striving to be better realtors and have better systems and better follow-up and better teams. And that is what we do. Okay. So first and foremost, I just think it's important that we are a real estate company. Without a real estate company, there's no what? There's no revenue.
Right.
There's no revenue to share. But Glenn said, if we create a company model where no agent ever would have a reason to leave, mm-hmm. and look at it hard and say it's financially irresponsible for me not to go on board and to leave eventually, to leave the company, then we've created the real estate model, you know, future. So with that, he made it a publicly traded company. I, in the first year, approximately, give or take a little, have close to $20,000 sitting in a stock account with the organization. There are 2 ways that you earn that stock. As you know, we get awarded stock at your first closing with the company, 35 shares. Mm-hmm. And 75 shares when you close your first, when you cap each year when you reach that 16,000 or 8,000 as a team member. And then you also get awarded stock each time you share EXP with someone that ends up joining the organization. It doesn't matter if they're in Charleston, in Charlotte, in Texas, in Kentucky, wherever you may happen to know relatives or people that are in the industry. So in the first year, that those awarded stock options that I have, which will be fully vested in 3 years, just like the KW model was vested with our profit sharing there in 3 years, I'll be able to do whatever I want with those. The flip side to the stock, or the other side of the stock that I've really enjoyed, is we can opt 5% of our commission to go toward earnings being toward the company giving us stock at 80 cents on the dollar. Yep. A 20% discount in stock. If you've been following our stock at all, I know you have, and I know I have, but we've gone from $3.49 a share when I joined October 1st of last year to, I think, I haven't looked this week, Shelley, but somewhere around $13, $14 a share, I believe. So, and that goes up, that goes down. You know, we have to watch our rules with whoever the governing body is, but the bottom line is, in 12 months, I checked it on October 1st because I wanted to have my benchmark for my first year. I was just under $20,000. A savings account that I would have never had. So, you know, stock was not the reason I joined. Revenue share was not the reason I joined. But man, has it proven itself. And that was what I was hoping I was going to be able to say, you know, at the year mark, at the 5-year mark, at the 10-year mark. What a difference that's going to make in my family's life. Revenue share. So, you know, I have to admit, I love relationships, and I love finding out what makes people tick. And I hope that's one of the things that made me a good broker in charge when I did that, leading a group of people. And you and I had many talks when I moved back to Charleston. I was in a transitional phase of my life, going through a divorce, now having the 2 teenagers solely in my care and my responsibility. And, you know, we were all going through life adjustments. So I remember saying to you, everybody keeps saying they want me to open my own company when I come back to Charleston, but I honestly just didn't have the emotional energy for it at that time. I was like, I'm going to get my family resituated. I'm so excited to be back. But you know, I remember talking to you many times saying, but Shelley, there's something missing for me. Mm-hmm. Don't lay my head on the pillow at night. feeling like I really helped people. And that's my favorite thing about leading a group. And you get to do it every day. I remember saying this to you too. You still get to do it every day because you have a real estate team,
Right.
and you're an amazing leader. But I love selling real estate and I love helping clients, but there's a difference to me anyway in knowing that 5, 10, 15 years from now, agents across the country may say, wow, Meg, I am so glad that I made the move to EXP, and it's made a huge difference in my family's life and in my life, and I'm really, really grateful for it. So that was something that makes me tick that I was missing, whether it was coaching people, personal development. I wasn't sure how it was going to look, but I was looking. I just didn't know where I was going to find it. So EXP allowed me to find that, which was huge. Do you hear background noise?
No, sounds good.
So anyway, that allowed me to find that, which was extremely helpful. The revenue share. So when I came on board, I really just wanted to get my feet grounded with the company. I've had several people say to me, I know the guys in Indiana, the first couple of months after they joined, they said, well, we're not talking to anybody about this because we want to make sure it works. And I'm like, I remember that feeling. That's fine. I'm never going to try to talk to somebody about something that I don't have 100% belief in. So the first few months, I just digested and learned the systems and implemented the tools and tried to make sure that they really were going to help my business, because that's what pays my bills. Then all of a sudden, I think about January, my phone started ringing, and I was like, well, I guess I'm equipped to share more information about the company now. And you were such a huge support. I remember in December and January blowing up you and Craig's phones. You guys get on a call with me because I want to make sure I don't say anything wrong.
We all did that. we all had
fun,
this.
And that's the collaboration. Like you said, we're all in this together.
Right.
Because the more we grow this company that we are owners in, that we're shareholders in, the more successful everybody is.
Yep.
So the support's been phenomenal. I can't even say enough about that. But my phone started ringing, and I started meeting with people, and they would go, wow, well, here's the pain where I've been, and the way EXP can solve that piece of pain. And that's amazing. That's going to make a difference for my family. Or bringing home an extra $6,000, or in some cases up to $16,000 a year with some of our local companies here. That would make a huge difference.
Just in splits.
With my family and my kids.
Yeah.
So speaking of kids, I see my youngest daughter pulling in. So if you hear a little bit of noise for a minute, I'll tell her to be quiet. But, even that part of it makes such a huge difference. And that part got exciting to me. I was like, wow, I could see now what a difference it's making for me. And I want to share that with people, across the country. I'm going to get a quick hug because she's leaving for a trip. Say hi,
Megan.
my youngest. She's taking her first road trip by herself in her car. I love you. Second. Okay.
I love you.
Call me. Keep me posted, okay?
I will. Love you.
Bye, sweetie.
Bye.
Sorry about that. That's my life. Working in my home office today. So I got excited, and revenue share is real. I can definitely say that the only thing I have to compare it to was profit sharing that we had at KW. And I thought that was even exciting, although I didn't do a ton of it. I think I had 9 people in my organization there that I had directed to the team leader and had gotten hired. And when I compare the differences, it's unbelievable what Glenn Sanford has created here. He truly has created an organization where you can be uber successful in your real estate business and what you do, and do it at its highest level and service your clients at their highest level, which is the end result we all want. You can also be a shareholder and know that you are really vested in a company like no other company has ever done before, and enjoy the profits from that. And then the icing on the cake is, we're all going to talk to people about the company we work for.
Mm-hmm.
Go to here at CTAR, the local board. You go to continuing education class, or you go to a realtor event and people are going to go, what's going on with EXP? Tell me more about it. It's natural. But to be able to really benefit just from saying, hey, you really should look into this. Let me send you some information. It's not a little benefit. It's a huge life-changing benefit for those that want to do it. You don't have to. You don't ever have to tell one person about EXP. And I'll give you a snapshot. In a year, you mentioned earlier that I have 13 personals that I've personally enrolled or attracted to this organization. That 13, which is now 16 in a couple weeks, I have several commitments that we're just finalizing. But that 13, let's just take that as a snapshot. By July of this year, I have not had to go out of my commission income. I've not had to touch my commission income, which, remember, is the only thing I've had to live off of for 24 years. I've not had to touch it since July, and I've paid all of my bills and have extra.
With your rev share.
So it's from revenue share, and I haven't touched my stock. I want to leave it. I want to let it grow. You know, where I see our stock going, you know, the sky's the limit, because we have barely touched the tip of the iceberg with this company. As you know, we are only in real estate sales right now. That's it.
Yeah.
It started ancillary services. We're working on all that. It's all going to be happening, you know, probably within the next year. Mortgage, title. But the fact that we have no bricks and mortar to limit us, we don't have all that overhead to limit us. The sky's the limit. And you know that as well as I do. And that, to me, has made the most difference in my energy level, the excitement for the company that I'm with, because you have to be passionate about not just the business, but who is supporting you in that business. And EXP has been that key, like it, that passion and that excitement again. So revenue share has been huge for me, not nearly as huge as you, because you've done such a phenomenal job in Charlotte, and you're such a great leader, but we literally are still in the infancy stages here in the Tri-County area. And it's great to be on that ground floor. And I love finding these partners to go in with me on that.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people say, oh, well, maybe it's too late. It's definitely not too late. There's a curve, like we are down here and the opportunity is way up here.
Way up there, yeah.
So I don't want people to think, oh, well, the opportunity's not there, because I think that's such a misnomer for people.
Right.
There's so much opportunity, and that's what's so exciting about this. And I love seeing my dearest friends be able to. I mean, it's hard when you have a friend that hasn't looked at the company yet, and you really just want to show them, because you know what it can mean for their family and how it can change their life. I mean, yes, we've had a good life, and there's nothing wrong with it, but this is just something that's even more freeing, gives more freedom, and now it's fun, like you said, empowering other people and helping people, and you know, being my happy place. That's been the biggest thing for me. Right. Because, you know, I was grinding real estate for years, and now to be able to, I still do love real estate, but this just gives a whole nother level of energy. It's so
fun. And I think the best analogy that hit me, and I can't remember, one of the mastermind groups, or I've done so many things, great collaborative things over the past year, but in one of them, someone said, guys, this company gives you the opportunity when you're ready to get the hamster wheel. And it was like a huge aha moment for me. No matter what company you are with, if it's not EXP, guess what? You're going to be on that hamster wheel until you either die, which most of us say we're going to sell houses until we die, or until, you know, God forbid, you become physically unable to do it, right? And my dad had a situation like that. You know, he passed away extremely suddenly, and that has resonated with me. We never thought, you know, we thought he was going to be with us for years and years, and he had a very freak accident, and we lost him. And, you know, that has really stuck with me and almost made me a little fearful of being in real estate since that point. That was 6 years ago. Though I've lived it and breathed it and slept it and ate it, for all these years, it put this little bit of fear in the back of my mind, because I thought, what happens if I fall and I can't sell real estate anymore? I have a debilitating injury. My kids are doomed. How are they going to get through college? How are they going to do this? Because as much as we all say we save, and I did save, but very conservatively, like most of us, it's not the typical type A real estate agent's personality to sock away a bunch of money. And even then, it's not being given to you by your company. You're earning it and socking it away. Right. This stuff is being handed to you, which is such a beautiful, amazing thing. So when you look at our growth, the country, everyone looks at us and goes, that's kind of freakish. Why are they growing so fast? Why we're growing so fast is because we are all in this together. Right. And we have the most innovative, highest technology company that you can possibly imagine, that allows us to be more efficient and more effective for our clients. At the same time, we've got a company handing us money. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? It's financially, literally, I truly believe now it's financially irresponsible not to look into it, particularly for icon agents.
Oh, yeah.
Talked about that yet. But in a brief 30-second synopsis, I will be on that stage next year, and I'm so excited, just like you guys were. But an icon agent with our company, you have usually it's a team, or it can be individuals too. I know Elizabeth Riley was an icon agent last year, and of course this year we have hundreds more because we've grown so rapidly. But you cap at 16,000. You then sell 20 more transactions at a $250 transaction fee. We do not have transaction fees before you cap. After you cap, you go to a $250 transaction fee. So for anyone that caps at 16,000, which is about 2.7,
2.3, something like that. Yeah.
Really easy to do, especially in the Charleston market. Once you cap, you start paying the $250, and when you do 20 more transactions, which equal $5,000 paid to the company in those transaction fees, they hand you back your $16,000 cap in stock. You have to do 20 more and go to the 2 annual events. So you get $2,000 per event and $12,000 for just capping and doing more. So what other company can you say as a top producer like you guys in your market? It's just not out there. Nobody's ever been that forward thinking to say, hey, agents that are never going to leave. Right. And here's how we're going to make that happen. So for an icon agent, they technically have worked for EXP for $5,000 for that entire year. Right. And it blows you away. So it is exciting. It's extremely energizing. And you mentioned, how has it changed my life and my family's life? I am an emotional being, and it's probably very likely that I'll get teary when I talk about this, but wow, how much I stressed about being a single parent, and knowing that I still had 2 more kids that I really wanted to put through college. They don't, we can do financial aid, but I'd rather put them through college. That's been my commitment from day one with my family. And one that still wants to get another degree. And I had plans. I came out of my marriage going, travel is something I've never done, and I want to go explore. There are things that Meg Watson wants to do in her life that I've just not felt comfortable or capable of doing. And so anyway, long story short, my kids are the ones that I think really made it hit home with me. I've tried, because they're at the age where they can learn a lot about finances right now. Day one, I included them in my decision. And I was like, you guys, I hope you don't think your mom has lost her marbles, but I am leaving a very safe little nest, and I am going to start something innovative in the area. And I want you to know about it so that I have your support. And I want you to know that there could be a few months in the coming year or 2 years that I can't do everything I normally do for and with you guys. And it never happened. And so I think it was around August or September of this year, about my 10th month with the company, Hunter, my son, came to me and he said, "Mom, it is amazing the difference I can see that this company's made for you." And I had not shared statistics with them, but I would share when I had a sale. I would share when I got my first revenue share check, and that it was exciting to be able to help other people grow and expand. And I would share when I had interviews with agents and things like that. But I didn't share the details of revenue share and stock and exactly what I was earning this year. And he could physically and emotionally see it in me. And that was the day that I was like, holy cow, this company really has changed my life. And I haven't done a lot, like I'm not the $160 million producer. I work hard. I have played hard. I have been to mastermind retreats. I've been to probably 6 different locations in the U.S. and outside of the U.S. this year because I can take that extra money that I am earning, that I'm being handed, and I can use it to better myself, better my family, and better my business. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I'm really trying to do with it. That's my number one goal. So to wrap up that conversation really fast, I pushed the button on my computer probably 3 weeks ago now to book a big Christmas trip for my kids and I. All 3 of the kids are going, and I'm going to Punta Cana the week before Christmas, all inclusive. And I thought back and it brought tears to my eyes the night that I booked it, because that anxiety is still within me of, hey, I'm self-employed. Hey, I'm on that hamster wheel. I'm only good as the next closing. And it started to talk me out of pushing the button. And I pushed it, and I had confidence, and I know that I had the resources to do it and the confidence. And so, wow, has it changed my world. And I've just done small things with the company so far. So it doesn't take, you hear about these people that have 5,000 people and they're working across the country that joined in California 8 years ago, and you're going, oh my gosh, 13 people that I talked to about this organization that just said, hey, this is really smart, and I'm going to do it. And I guarantee you 2 out of those 13 are going to have any interest or really get the vision of where the revenue share can take them if they want to. But that's 2 people's lives that are just drastically going to change, at least, that could have not had that influence on. So that's the part that just, me, it really energizes me.
Well, it's funny because I noticed you said you get to go on all these trips and they're all self-improvement, making yourself amazing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's fun.
You're the one that convinced me to go to the first couple, because at that point I was like, Shelley, I'm on the hamster wheel, out of the hamster wheel mindset yet. And I was just so nervous to book that flight to Scottsdale or to book that flight to Puerto Vallarta to go to these amazing retreats that you don't have to go to. They're just, everybody's so collaborative, the opportunities there. And man, am I so glad that I've integrated myself and gone. And, the conference was amazing. I didn't even get to go to the shareholder meeting this year because I did another trip with the kids. But truly, those of you that haven't heard all the details about EXP, and boy, there's always tons of rumors flying around. And I saw a slideshow that was made by one of the national companies that was probably 80% correct, but the 10% of the facts that were correct really skew it.
Right.
I hear people say, oh, this is an MLM. Oh my gosh, it is nothing like it, because we are all just sharing the word about a company that provides great real estate agents with great opportunity past the hamster wheel and gets them off that and provides them with an exit strategy. And that's what I'm really excited about. I now finally, after 24 years in the business, can see my long-term vision and my long-term
It's
plan.
interesting that with the what you're saying as far as like the resources that everybody has. I think that to making that people understand that this is way more than we're all doing business. Instead of being the ones that are leading our companies and giving them our relationships, our agent relationships,
Right.
we're now doing that for ourselves together and working to help each other. And that's
Right.
for me the collaboration of just like you want everyone to thrive. And
Right.
it makes you feel really good. I mean, not only did you make your seller happy and your buyer happy, but you're making your friends in the real estate industry happy because you're
Right.
changing their lives. And
Right.
that's really been one of the most fun things for me is just watching. And the other thing is like, it's not me and it's not you. It's the company opportunity that's in front of us. We just help facilitate it. And it doesn't add extra work. People I think they think, oh, it's going to be more work if I do this. Well, no, it's actually not. It's way more fun.
Fun. It's a lot more interesting. I tell you, one thing that you just said made me think of this. Another snippet that I brought back from one of the agents at one of the events, or might have been on a mastermind training session in the office. But one of them said, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right.
And I think that's how I felt from the first time I watched it last spring, but the timing's got to be right for everyone.
Right.
But here's what I would say: see it, and make sure that you're seeing the true facts. I can send a webinar, Shelley can send a webinar, or sit down and have coffee if we're local, or do a Zoom call like this and go through the webinar together. So, but just do yourself a favor and make sure you see it. That would be, don't listen to what everybody else is saying. Sit down and digest it and see it, and talk to people like us that have had the experiences. Both Shelley and you and I can put people in touch with anyone across the country now that has years on us of experience with this company, and the collaboration and the energy and the tools. And we didn't even get into all the technology, but again, phenomenal. We each have the conversion, the KV Core platform. That's $50 a month. That includes that, your email, your website, breakthrough broker, all your marketing tools, everything that you need. I mean, it's phenomenal. And I think, isn't KV Core like $400 for an individual agent per month?
That's what I understand.
So, being a national brand, we're able to leverage things like that, which is another thing I really, really like. I mean, I enjoyed it that KW was a national brand because I had always been with independent companies. So that was one of the things that I liked. And just knowing that I had the referral resources, getting referrals across the country if I needed to, or having the national presence on the web and all of those things. We are all of that. And yet we don't pay the franchise fee and we don't pay the royalty fees. So thank you, Glenn Sanford. We love you. He's this super innovative. And I'm so glad he was a techie, because if he was a techie, we wouldn't have what we have today.
True. Meg, tell people how they can reach you, your phone number, and the best way to get a hold of you is talk to you about the company and a little bit.
So the best way is really text or phone call. I am between my real estate business and helping others grow and develop. Texting is great because then we can schedule a time. But my cell phone number is 843-697-9985. And email is meg@charlestonhomes with an S group.com. And I think the last thing I'd like to say too, Shelley, is about space.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people, I had kind of gotten past the I need to be in the office in my four walls mindset. Prior to coming on board with EXP, I kind of had become pretty good with my phone, and I did DocuSign and all that and my laptop. But I do know that it is extremely important to a lot of agents. And, I know that you guys have space. So tell us a little bit about what you did. And, the bottom line is everybody's paying for space.
Yeah, we are.
Regardless of where they are.
Right.
So you're going to pay for space. You're paying for it through your split, or you're paying for it through your desk fees. And I think if you look beyond just the split plan and the desk fees and see that now you could get off the hamster wheel if you ever wanted to with stock and rev share, that, you know, the space is not that big of an issue. But tell us about your particular.
So Craig and I, we have a small team, and we just wanted to create a space where people could come. And also some of our EXP organization stops in, and we'll do classes there, which we Zoom call to everybody in our organization across the country. So there's a lot of collaboration in this group, even from Charlotte to Charleston. I come down there. You guys are everyone's welcome to come to us, no matter where you are. We also, I think a lot of it's been with the space has been, we just wanted a little place for our team. But like Meg said, when we were at our other company, we were paying $700 a month for our space, and it was not ideal. It was actually pretty unideal. So we figured if we were able to just invest a little bit more money into a space, we can have our clients come. We can do little events, which we've done. We can host things for agents, which we've done. The other thing I'll say about space is you can always, lenders love to get around us, and inspectors. So they have spaces, and we can always like get a desk there and may pay a small fee or no fee to be around them. Or some agents have gotten together and they've gotten a small little like work type of space. There's lots of those around towns like Mount Pleasant. And then we also have the Regis, which you can drop in and use anytime for free. Or if you want an actual office, there's a discount associated with that. So
and I got a Regis office, not for real estate business, because I don't like sitting in an office. I feel like I'm never making money when I'm sitting in an office. Now, if I had a team, I can see where, you know, have the group in one space.
Right.
But I went ahead and got one just because I was having confidential meetings with people, and it's nice if I need it for my business, I can pop in there. But yeah, I mean, all the common space at Regis, you've got your copier, your printer, have little pods where you can work quietly. You have big, long tables like Starbucks, which I love. Coffee, which of course I love. So all that's been wonderful for me. But, you know, I do think that there are two misnomers out there about us. And that is, well, how do you work without an office? We have an office. We have a phenomenal office. I get to touch the button on my computer and interact just like this with our staff. We have over 250 staff members across the country that staff our departments. So if I have a marketing question, I get a faster answer by logging into our office. I'm standing right there. They're talking to me. I walk in and they say, "Hi, Meg, how can I help you?" I'm making sure Reagan has not been in an accident real quick. Hold on one second. Are you okay? Okay. Yes, just go Clements Ferry all the way to 526. Okay, I'll call you in a minute. Love you. Bye. Sorry about that. Like I said, her first road trip. She's like, my GPS is telling me to go a different way.
Probably traffic.
With the space. Oh, shoot. I'm so sorry. Oh,
you're talking about the cloud.
Oh, that's right. Office.
Right.
So I can pop right into the cloud. They're standing there live talking to me. If I have a marketing question, I can literally have my answer just from my laptop in 5 minutes. Where I've probably been sending an email to the marketing department, waiting until they had time to check it, getting to the right person, blah, blah, blah. So it's amazing how quickly we can get our concerns answered from our broker in charge or from our, department staff. So the office thing, we totally have an office, and we have a much more efficient office than any office I've ever been a part of, or any company I've ever been a part of. So I love that part of it. I love the efficiency. So we do have an office, and if you want a private office or a space to share with some agents, I have a group of agents that are getting ready to come over, and before we make an announcement, we're already just looking for a space that's conducive for them. And what I think I was getting at, Shelley, too, with your space is you hardly ended up paying anything more.
No, it was super reasonable.
You have a much better space by going away from a franchise fee space.
Yeah.
So
it is. It's much better, and we're able to run our business the way we want to run it because we don't have the confines of the rules of an office. So that's been huge for us. You're absolutely right, and it's amazing what you're saying about the cloud office is completely impressive. I mean, we have high caliber people working there, and like you said, you don't have to. I remember in our old office, we'd have to go up and doors would be closed, and you have to go back another hour later, and then it's the day's over. Now we're into tomorrow. With this company, you have, I believe it's like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. support. I mean, it may be more hours than that now.
Well, it's soon to be 24 hours.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So, I mean, I know they're working to like have us have staff all the time. And that's been really, really helpful to be able to be so, like you said, agile. I love that word. And that's really
we're so agile, and there's no other company like it. So that part is something that I really love. I was in Indianapolis for Reagan's marching band competition last week, and Thursday and Friday she had a couple of performances, but I was pretty much just in the hotel, and I just popped into the cloud office and had to ask a few questions and was onboarding, helping someone get a couple of questions answered there and got them answered. Just boom, boom. No emails, no voicemails that don't get returned. It's phenomenally efficient, which I love. So I think the last thing is the last misnomer about us is that we don't have big producers in this company. And that cracks me up because I have met so many people that are so much better than I am. And that really has just changed in the last 18 months, I think. I think you and Craig were a part of that. I think Brent Gove was definitely a huge part of that. And just
so many great agents
spreading, right? And so we're getting all these huge icon agents from all over the country. Now 3 provinces in Canada. We're in all 50 states. The growth has gone from, I think it was 7,400 January 1st. So we've doubled. We were at just under 15,000 this past week.
It's funny because I know when we were at the conference in New Orleans, I believe the number was 167 icon agents walked across that stage. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of top agents walking across the stage.
I mean, for an up and coming company that, because it takes a while to establish yourself with the big hitters across the country, like J.K. It's like, wow. So yeah, it's impressive. It's exciting. The leadership is phenomenal. The culture, I think that's something I just wanted to speak to real quick too. We mentioned it a couple of times, but we are all in this together. Mm-hmm. Take away the titles. It takes away that, oh, well, she's the owner's son or the daughter, or, she's this, or, well, she's been dating the manager of that office forever. It takes all that away. And we are all just in this together. I've not felt any bureaucracy. I don't run up against red tape.
It's funny, Gene Frederick will say, he's like, someone asks him because he was an owner of 6 KW franchises and a regional owner. They'll say, oh, well, what's your title at EXP? And he goes, Grandpa. Because
all his grandkids.
That's what he cares about is his grandchildren.
Yeah.
So when he says that, he's like, I get to be Grandpa and I get to be a part of this awesome company. I don't have to wear that. He happens to be one of our board of directors, but he would prefer you call Grandpa.
He's huge. Yeah. And, being able to just pick up the phone and call anybody across the country, know that they're happy to do a call with someone if they happen to be a commercial agent. I have a commercial agent too in Charleston looking at coming on board. Well, I don't have all the answers about our commercial systems, but we're setting up a call and we're doing it actually tomorrow on a Saturday to a guy in Texas that's huge. He's the biggest commercial person, I believe, in the whole state of Texas that joined us. So he's going to get on the call and just talk to him and say, hey, here's the systems we have. Here are the great things that we do. And it's just amazing how it opens your world.
Yeah. Well, awesome. I'm so glad we did this. I'm so glad we did this today.
I know. We have waited to do this. And for some reason, the 1-year mark for me was validating, I guess would be a good word. Not just for me, but I think for the Charleston community. I think a lot of people thought I had lost my marbles about a year ago. And I was like, I'm doing this. They're like, who? EX who? And the other thing on that note is in 2001, the year Reagan was born, who just interrupted our conversation, I was about 8 months pregnant with her. I think it was like May. And I had taken a brief jaunt next door to Remax and was getting ready to go right back to the company that I was with before. But some of the top agents in Remax went on a trip. And they came back and they said, hey, Meg, we want to invite you to go to lunch. And I was young. I mean, this was almost 20 years ago. And we went to lunch and they said, we just got back from Austin, Texas. And we heard about this up and coming real estate company called Keller Williams. And I was like, Keller who? I called it Williams Keller for like the first 6 months. I'm like, good luck with that, Williams Keller. It's going to be great, I'm sure. But I thought they were crazy. And I looked at them like they had 3 heads. And of course, Keller Williams has grown in 20 years to be an amazing organization. And what they wanted me to do was be one of the founders with them in Charleston. But it included buying into a franchise, starting everything over. I was 8.5 months pregnant with my 3rd child. And I just said, guys, I cannot take risk in my life right now. But I really appreciate it. And I'll always be a big supporter of you. And from that day forward, well, not long after that, I think it was 6 months later, Carolina One, the big independent company that I had been an agent with for 10 years, came to me and said, we need to talk to you for a minute. We need a director of recruiting, which they'd never had before. So I created the recruiting department and that position. And it was my job to dig in and learn everything about Remax, everything about Weichert, everything about Coldwell Banker, everything about all the independents, and everything about KW. And I looked at them in 2001. I was the youngest person on the leadership team. And I said, you guys better watch out because this company is going to go somewhere. Because at that time, it was the best, most innovative thing out there. And it didn't have and doesn't have today the opportunities that we do with EXP. So, nothing bad to say about the company at all. Like I said, I was perfectly happy there up until I learned about EXP and the opportunities. And I can just say I'm very happy to say that I think I'm going to be not on the hamster wheel until I'm 95. There's some good opportunities.
You'll be both.
Yeah. Maybe you and I will be able to take our trip for our 10-year friend anniversary and get off the hamster wheel for a while and go enjoy life. So, but yeah, it is truly innovation at its finest. Support, I think number one, support at its finest. And it can be financial freedom at its finest, and definitely an exit strategy that no other real estate company has ever offered. So first and foremost, get the facts, make sure you have the correct facts. And, myself or anybody else with EXP can send you, webinars or information about it, or sit down and meet with you, or just do a Zoom call. If you're not in the area, that's perfectly fine. But the people that are in this company want to see everyone succeed. And we're excited to share the news about it.
Something you said real quick about buying into a franchise and having that opportunity. There is no buy-in of a franchise. You can't buy a franchise here. And Gene Frederick said that when he met with Glenn Sanford, when he was considering this opportunity. He said, well, I want to buy Texas. And Glenn Sanford says, well, you can't buy Texas. And he said, I'm in. That was the big clincher for him. Talking to someone who owned franchises in a region, that was huge, and it was important to him because he knew that meant there was an exit strategy for everybody, not just one individual.
Right, so, and not just any region.
Right.
Gene Frederick owned the top, I can't remember if it was Palo Alto, California, but anyway, like the prime region of California. He owned the whole region for KW and 6 other franchises. Yep. So he sold it all and came home and told his wife, you're going to think I'm nuts, but we're doing this adventure. And, you know, his story is just phenomenal.
Well, he came in at 400 agents, and from what I understand, he's like, I'm not even sure we were selling real estate at that moment, because a lot of these people were tech people that were part of the company.
Right.
But he just knew that he was holding on to a model that was going to be outdated very quickly. If you look at other companies that have transcended and have closed, and now we're all digital companies, it's just the way of the future. And thankfully, we're all part of it, and I hope that other people get to join us.
I hope so too. How many people do you have in your organization now, on top of all the sales that you guys have been doing?
We have 35 in our level 1, and we have 681, I believe, is yesterday. I was just looking because I was curious of where we were.
Almost 700.
Almost 700 agents. And the funny thing is, I don't know them all. And I said to Craig, and I had this debate about our organization. I said, I know everybody in our organization. He said, Shelley, you really don't. He's like, you think you do?
It takes on a life of its own.
Yeah.
Like, you probably know all the states that you've touched at this point, because I
don't, which is I need to. But the funny thing is it's like, it's not about us, it's about the company, and I just happen to be attached to it, and we all help each other.
Right.
I think it's been a lot of fun, and
it has been so much fun. And number one, I want to say thank you to you, because for just trusting me in saying, hey, I want your opinion on this, and B, being the kind of person that I knew you were, and truly saying, Meg, I would never lead you, knowing you and knowing your kids like they're, part of your family, which you did. I would never lead you into something that I knew, even if you just continued to do your regular real estate business, you're not still going to make more money at, and still going to reap amazing benefits from. And I really am eternally grateful to you for that. And I'm just so happy that we finally got to do this.
That's fun, yeah.
Fun plan this weekend?
Me? Yeah, we're leaving to go to Maryland on Monday, Sunday, Monday.
You just got back from Breckenridge.
Yes, I did. It's a little crazy.
I love it. Well, I just got back from Indiana, and I'm leaving to go with my sister.
Oh, good.
Okay, so, yeah. I hope it's a wonderful holiday, and we're going to see each other physically again soon, I know. But thank you so much. I wanted everybody to learn about you, too. It's not about you, but it's about this awesome, awesome company that Glenn created. So I guess he's the one we really have to thank.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving. Give them your phone number one more time.
Okay. 843-697-9985.
Text Meg.
The weekends, as always.
Yeah. Text Meg. She has a great webinar that if you want to know the details intricately about the company, she absolutely can send that to you. It's 28 minutes, and it's done by Brent Gove, who's the same person I learned about the company from. I really understood it because of him. So I think it's a wealth of information, and it will give you everything you need to know so that you can be thinking about it. And whether you join or not, or you decide to join us in this great adventure, it's good to know what's out there, because it's important to know what the options are and be able to make a good decision for your family. And I mean, it's like, if Meg had never joined, I just would have been wishful for her, but I'm so grateful that she trusted in us, that we made a good decision. And we had to make sure for ourselves too.
I'm glad I did. But yeah, I think one thing that I remember posting the day that I joined was something that I saw on Facebook a couple of days before I made the decision. Mm-hmm. I'm a Facebook junkie, but I saw some, one of those little sayings. Sorry, the sun is like coming in on me now. And it said, fear is the worst enemy to progression, I think was the phrase. Mm-hmm. That clicked with me, because I was feeling such fear about making a move. I had promised myself I was never going to make a move again. And I really wasn't unhappy. So I was like, wow, that fear was setting in, and seeing that phrase really clicked with me. And myself told myself, Meg, you got to move past fear and at least be educated. Right. So that's what I would encourage all of you that may be watching this to do. Just make sure you're 100% educated. We've given some of the snippets today, but, us or anybody else within the organization is happy to share the true facts with you.
Yeah.
Everybody has a great weekend.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Shelley. You too.
Thank you for
Talk to you
doing
soon.
this. All right,
Bye.
bye.